There are plenty of frauds in anime, plenty of characters who get hyped up to be the strongest in their verse and the best character in their verse, but when push comes to shove and it's time to battle, they either get mopped or they get bailed out. Being a fraud in anime is not something new. Well, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a new fraud that does not get talked about enough, and that's Ichigo Kurosaki. What's up guys, my name is Midnight, and today's video I'm going to be breaking down and talking about how Ichigo Kurosaki is a fraud. But before I get into the video, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you guys watch till the end. So I just got done watching Bleach for the first time, and while I'm watching this show I'm thinking, man, this show is cold. But there's one problem that I'm having. This nigga Ichigo is a fraud. I'm watching this show and I'm just seeing this nigga get bailed out left and right, and I just could not stand it, and I had to make a video about how he's a fraud. But first, let's break down all his fights, starting with Ichigo versus Byakuya. Ichigo versus Byakuya was a cold fight, but my god, this nigga Ichigo got bailed out left and right during this fight. First of all, let's start about how he did a Bankai for the first time, and they were talking about how Bankai is one of the hardest things to achieve, and he just became a Soul Reaper, and out of nowhere, he achieves a Bankai. That's plot armor right there. And besides that, he also just randomly turned into a hollow, and it gave some licks to Byakuya, hurting him a little bit. Come on, man. Byakuya is supposed to be the top guy in the Soul Society, and Ichigo Kurosaki, the guy that just got his powers right now, is mopping him. Come on, that's fraud activity right there. That's bailout activity. And let's not even speak about how he didn't even win the fight at the end. It was just basically a standstill. Byakuya gave up. He just walked away and said, alright, you got it. But that's not a victory in my eyes until the guy's on the ground. Ichigo getting bailed out by that Bankai and getting bailed out by him turning into a hollow. Fraud activity number one. Watching Ichigo versus Byakuya reminded me of watching Luffy versus Crocodile. Two bailout characters in two bailout fights. In Luffy versus Crocodile, Crocodile literally kills this man Luffy, but out of nowhere he comes back because he ate some meat. Bailout. Ichigo versus Byakuya, this man is getting destroyed by Byakuya, but out of nowhere he gets a Bankai that he can't fully control, and he beats a guy that has a fully controlled Bankai. Bailout. And his hollow mask comes in the perfect time as he's losing. Bailout. And Byakuya just walked away. Two bailout characters. Come on, Bleach. I thought this was better than One Piece. I thought we're supposed to see at least Ichigo train and at least work to the top, but out of nowhere just being gifted the top spot. Come on, we can't mess with no frauds out here. Now let's get into the second fight, and in my opinion the most fraudulent fight Ichigo had in this entire show, and that's Ichigo versus Kenpachi. Man, oh man, my blood was boiling when I was watching this fight, because when they introduced Kenpachi, he was one of my favorite characters in Bleach. He was one of the coldest characters in Bleach, and to see him just get done dirty in his first ever fight like that by none other than Ichigo, a guy that just got his soul powers, beating a Soul Society captain. Come on, I could not handle that. First of all, Ichigo did not have his Bankai in this fight, and the majority of the fight Kenpachi was holding back, so I don't even know how Ichigo got the victory in my opinion. The fight started off by Kenpachi just letting Ichigo hit him, doing no damage to this guy, and Kenpachi just showing this guy that there are different levels to this, that he is way stronger than Ichigo. But out of nowhere, Ichigo just, anime rules, he just starts getting a little bit stronger during the fight. That's some bailout stuff that anime characters do. And so he's getting a little bit stronger. He's actually starting to hit Kenpachi now. Kenpachi's starting to take the fight serious, takes his glasses off, and be like, alright, I'm going to show you. And then out of nowhere, they do one final attack together, and they strike each other at the same time. Ichigo falls down first, technically a loss, and then Kenpachi falls. But out of nowhere, Kenpachi's like, you know what? Nah, he won, he got that victory. He ain't get that victory. That's a bailout. This is supposed to be one of the top strongest guy. How's Ichigo matching him? He was just struggling against a bald-headed guy. I don't remember that guy's name, but he just got out of a fight struggling against that bald guy, and out of nowhere comes to a soul captain's level. Supposed to be one of the strongest soul captains, and is able to beat him. Fraudulent victories. Ichigo don't got one real victory in my eyes yet. Now let's get into Ichigo's biggest fraudulent fight yet, and in my opinion the most fraudulent fight in any anime. Ichigo versus Urora. Now for anyone who doesn't know Bleach, this is the 4th Espada, which means this is the 4th strongest villain in Bleach, and Ichigo somehow is able to fight him. But before he fought him, let's break down who Ichigo fought before he got to Urora. Now, when Ichigo enters this area where all the Espada is, he fights this random low-level Espada, easily wipes him, obviously. He's a random low-level Ichigo, you know, he's that guy. And then out of nowhere, he fights Urora already. He confronts him. Well, technically, Urora confronts him. And, well, guess what happens? This boy Ichigo dies.
Bruh.
Like, come on. If that doesn't prove he's fraudulent already, it's over. He dies and he had to get revived by Orihime, some BS power she has where she can revive people. Well, get past that. He dies from Urihara. The next person he fights is a guy, you know, he's been previously fighting in a couple last episodes, Grinjao. He gets finally his rematch with him, and not gonna lie, this is Ichigo's first real win in my eyes. He wipes the floor with Grinjao. He beats that guy, you know, he didn't completely wipe the floor with him. You know, they had a back and forth. They kept going back and forth. You know, Ichigo fought tooth and nail just to beat him, and he beat him. And now let's get to the final. After fighting Grinjao, he gets a fifth Espada comes, tries to fight Ichigo, but you know, people pull up and help Ichigo handle it. Whatever. He gets healed, and then he goes to fight Urihara. Now, as I previously stated, Ichigo already fought this guy in the same arc and got wiped. And in anime time, that's probably like a couple hours just passed since he got wiped by him. And out of nowhere, he wants to fight him again, and he thinks he's ready to beat him. Like, come on. If that doesn't prove that this guy is BS and he's a fraud already, I don't know what else is gonna prove it. So he pulls up to try to fight this guy after he just struggled against the 6th Espada, tries to pull up and fight the 4th Espada, and guess what's happening? He's getting mixed up, he's getting pieced up, he's getting destroyed, and Urihora's like, this is not even my full power, let me turn on my full power for you. Turns on his full power, still getting wiped, and guess what happens again? Ichigo dies.
Bruh. This nigga is trash.
This boy is a fraud. And not only did he die, out of nowhere, he just randomly gets revived by his BS power he has and turns into a random hollow and destroys Urihara out of nowhere and got the most BS victory ever. One thing I'm gonna respect about Ichigo is at least he knew he got a BS victory, because after he came back to life and realized he got a BS victory, he went to Urihara and said, yo, this is not fair. I cut off your left arm, let me cut off my left arm. Let's fight fair. Let me get you a fair fight. But it's already too late. Urihara died. This man Ichigo got another fraudulent win. Ichigo now has 3 fraudulent wins under his belt. This boy looking like Draymond Green, getting carried to all his wins. He ain't proved nothing yet. He's still a fraud. He not up there with my main characters like Luffy. He ain't up there with Naruto. This fraud is in a whole nother tier. He's down there with people like Deku. Stay in that little fraudulent area. He down there with people like Vegeta. Straight frauds. You know, I'm not gonna completely disrespect Ichigo. You know, he got a couple wins under his belt. You know, he beat Renji. He beat that little bald guy in the beginning. You know, he beat Ginjo. He got a couple wins under him. But when push comes to shove, when the big villains come up, Ichigo is a fraud. He gets bailed out every time, so he don't deserve my respect. He not in the GOAT conversations. Don't bring him up in conversations when you're talking about Goku, Luffy, Naruto. Do not bring up the name Ichigo at all. That boy is a fraud. Now, there is a couple more fights I could have thrown in there, but you know, I'm gonna leave them out for right now. You know, the Aizen fight, but you know, I'm gonna leave that out right now because you know, that was his power. I'm gonna give it to him. I'll give him that. I'll say he got that victory true to himself, but you know, I'm just gonna leave that out for this video. But before the Bleach fans come in my comments mad that I said this about Ichigo, don't get me wrong, this video is for jokes. I like Ichigo. I just had to point out what I saw when I'm watching this show for the first time. I'm watching, I'm like, boy, this guy got no real wins yet. He's a fraud. And don't be hurt, it's just my opinion. And keep in mind, I haven't watched 1000 Year Blood War yet. Maybe Ichigo does get some real wins in that fight, but when I get the time to watch 1000 Year Blood War, hopefully Ichigo, you know, he grows up and you know, he starts getting some real wins. But as of right now, this man Ichigo is a fraud in my eyes. But if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you comment down below who your biggest anime fraud is. But other than that, it's midnight and I'm out. Peace out.